know, again, we're going to quickly review our clocks that we talked about yesterday and subtraction with borrowing, and then learn our new concept. So I want to try to do that as quickly as we can. So we talked about our clock. The past couple of days we've been talking about telling the time to the nearest minute, but also being able to know whether it says quarter after, quarter till, or half past a certain time. So those are some things. We know our parts of our clock. We should have that down. Remember our small hand that counts by ones from 1 to 12, and that's all. And then our larger hand, our long minute hand, counts by fives all the way to 60, but he can also count in between those fives for other numbers that are in between to the nearest minute. And then we also use this big hand to help us to see if something is quarter after, half past, or quarter till. So those are some important things that we talked about. So let's see how well you remember that. What time would this be? Look carefully. Right, so you see, where's my small hand? On the 3, so it's 3, and then remember we said we look at what's in front of it, 15, because we got 5, 10, 15, then we count by ones, 16, 17, 18. So it is 3, 18, and you can see, because it's 19 would be here, and then 20 is right there, okay? So there's 4 in between each, so it would be 318. What about this one? What time is that? 11. Good. It's right in front of my 10. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 11:09 would be my time. All right, now we're going to use our words. What do you mean use our words, Miss Monroe? Well, you're not going to tell me numbers. So we're not going to write, 11:09. I mean, you would for 11:09, but for this one right now, we're not going to do that. What time is this? Use words. You can't use numbers. Well, I don't know then. Well, what did we learn yesterday? Oh, so what time is what is our small hand saying? It's 6, but then when it goes to here, what is that? It is, this side is, what did we say of our clock? And you were supposed to draw it out on your paper plate yesterday. What time? This is the what side? Quarter after, because it was 6 o'clock here, but now it is quarter after 6. Quarter after 6. Very good. What about this one? So we have to look at where our small hand is, what it's in between. We always say the number in front of it, but then we're using words. We're not using numbers, so you can't tell me this is 9, whatever. You have to use words. I think I heard some of you. Oh man. Oh man. All of you, come on. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can. You've got this in you. So this is a tougher one, because we often forget where it's going and what to say. So some of you were close. You were saying quarter till 9, but it's not quarter till 9. Yeah, you smarties, some of you know. It's quarter till 10, because it's almost, remember, so when it's on the 9, it means almost the next hour. Remember, we don't want to go from 2:45, we're almost out of school, to 2 o'clock. It's quarter to 2. No, it's quarter to 3, Miss Monroe. It's almost time to go home, right? So quarter till 10. That's quarter till 10, because it's almost 10. Good. And then our last one using words. We know that it's half past, yes, 4, half past 4. Excellent job. You guys are going to ace those clocks and know how to do those just right. That was excellent. All right, now let's review our subtraction with borrowing. Remember, the first thing we do with a subtraction problem is check the top. What do? Check the top. Always check the top. We have to see if the number on top in the ones place, we always start in the ones place on the right and work our way left. We have to see if it's big enough. If it's not, then we have to go next door to borrow. So we look and we have a 4 up top and a 6 on the bottom. Is that enough? Mr. 1 has 6 friends over his house. He has 4 pizzas. Does he have enough pizzas for all of his friends to have a whole pizza? He doesn't. So what does he need to do? We have to first cross him out because he made a mistake. He didn't have enough. He's only got 4. So we're going to write that number 4, oops, sorry, it's kind of messy, at the top so that we know 4 was not enough. So cross out the 4, write the 4 again up top. Then Mr. 1 has to go over, knock, 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 Mr. 10. Hi, I know I was over here yesterday because I had to borrow from you, but I have 6 friends over my house and I only have 4 pizzas for them. Do you have pizzas that I can borrow? Mr. 10's a little grumpy. Well, I hate that you keep coming over here to borrow. Well, how many friends do you have, Mr. 10? Mind your business, because Mr. 10 only has 2 friends. He only has 2 friends, but he's got 5 whole pizzas. Does he need all 5 of those pizzas? No, he doesn't. So can he share? Can he let Mr. 1 borrow a pizza? Of course he can. It won't hurt him. He'll still have plenty left over. So he takes one of his pizzas, shoves it over at Mr. 1 and says, go ahead, take the pizza. So he now only has 4 pizzas, but that's still plenty because he only has 2 friends. Maybe he shouldn't be so grumpy and he might have more friends. And then he gives that group of pizzas to Mr. 1. So now Mr. 1 added that 10 to his 4 and he's got 14 pizzas for all of his friends. So he's definitely going to have some left over now. So 14 ones minus 6 ones equals how many ones? 8 ones. And then we have 4 tens minus 2 tens, which equals 2 tens. And 2 tens plus 8 ones equals 28. That's how we would say that. Very good. All right, coming over to our next one, we've got Mr. 10, or Mr. 1 has 9 friends. He only has 5 Cokes for his friends. And they all love Coke. That's not enough. Cross out that 5. Now he's got to go back over and he's got to borrow. Mr. 10, hi, it's me again. I have 9 friends over my house now and I only have 5 Cokes for. Why do you keep inviting so many friends without having enough prepared? You need to be better prepared, son. And he's thinking, well, how many friends do you have and how many Cokes do you have? Well, I have none of your business amount of friends, but I have Coke and I'll just give it to you. Just take it away. Mr. 10 only has 4 friends, but he's got 7 Cokes. He's got plenty. Go ahead and give a case of that Coke to Mr. 1. So he takes one of his 10s away and gives it to Mr. 1. Now Mr. 1 adds that 10 to his 5, which makes 15. Now we can subtract. 15 minus 9 equals 6. So Mr. 1 has 6 Cokes left over. And then even Mr. 10, 6 minus 4, has 2 Cokes left over. So 2 10s plus 6 1s equals 26. All right, really quickly, next one. Once again, Mr. 1 does not have enough because we checked the top. Don't tell me 6 minus 7 equals 1. If I have 6 markers and I needed to give 7 to each of you students, would I have enough to give you and still have 1 left over for me if I only had 6, but I needed to give out 7? No, that doesn't make sense. That's why we always check the top. Always check the top. So 6 isn't enough. So cross it out, put the same number up top. Mr. 1 goes over to Mr. 10. Can I borrow, please, from you? Fine. I have 3. I only need 2. I'll give you one of mine because I'll still have enough for my friends. So he gives one of those 10s to Mr. 1. Now he's got 16. Subtract 7, which equals 9 altogether. Last one. Mr. 1, we checked the top. He has 9 friends over his house and 2 ice cream cones. Oh no. Don't invite me to your house if you only have 2 ice cream cones with a whole bunch of people. I love ice cream, and I definitely want my own cone. I'm not sharing. No, we can't share. It's COVID anyway. So we've got to make sure that we have enough. He doesn't have enough, so he has to knock next door. What do you need this time? Ice cream cones, because I have 9 friends, but I only have 2 ice cream cones. I have 2 friends, which is plenty for me. I don't need any more, but I have 7 ice cream cones. Fine, take my extra ice cream cones. So he gives 1 case of his ice cream cones to Mr. 1, who only had 2, but now we add that group of 10, and now he's got 12. Now we can subtract 12 minus 9 equals 3, and 6 minus 2 equals 4. So we have 43 as our answer. Very good. So I hope that that makes sense and you'll remember. I know we went kind of quickly, but we'll review it more carefully and make sure that you get it. We'll have plenty of other chances to review and go over it so that you'll get it down pat really, really well. Well, we've got our numbers that we've been talking about and learning. We know that we talk about going from the right, going towards the left. When we start with this place, what is it called? The ones place, right? After our ones place comes the tens, then hundreds. Remember what we said this comma said? 1,000, right? It says 1,000 because this place is our thousands place. Now, this is an important thing to recognize because when we look at our thousands place, there's a bunch of numbers in front of that. So when we say thousands, we're not just going to say thousands anymore. We're going to specifically say it's our 1,000th place because that is the difference. There's a 1,000th place and then there's other places which we'll talk about in 1 second. Now, here's a number that I want you to tell me where I should put. My numbers. Okay? So you have to shout it out to the TV or iPad or wherever you are. Shout it out so I know where am I going to put this 7 for my number 2,789. Here in the, no, okay. Where? Oh, in the hundreds place? All right, so my 7, because it looks like it's 700. Where's my 7? There it is. It's hard to do it backwards like that. There it is. So 700s, stick that on there as best I can. Hopefully it'll stay. What about my 2? Where should my 2 go? That's going to come all the way to my thousands place, right? Because the number is 2,789. So that's going to go in my thousands place. Where's my 9 going to go? Oh, that should go in my ones place, right? Because there are 2,000s 7 hundreds, and 9 ones. All right, so only one number's missing, which is my 8, which obviously has to go into my tens place because it's 89, okay? So 2,789. Thousands place, hundreds place, tens place, ones place. We always start from the right and go to the left. We say it from left to right, but when we're looking at our place value, it's from right to left. We start with our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Now, I want you to think about this. What do we do when we have this number after this number? First of all, let's say this number, 9,999. What comes after that? So let's think. 9,997, 9,998, 9,999. What comes next? I heard some of you say it would be 10,000, right? And that's why I said to you, we can't say the thousands place anymore. Now we have to say 1,000s place, okay? We have our ones, tens, hundreds, and then our 1,000s place, and now we're talking about our 10,000s place, okay? So now we have our 10,000s place. So let's look at our numbers that we have here on the board. This number, we look at it, there's the 1,000s place, but this is now the 10,000s place. So all we have to do is look at that number like it is. What is what do these first two numbers say? 15, right? And then what does our comma say? 1,000. And then what does the last part of our number say? Oh, 206. I know 206, right? So when we're saying bigger numbers, we look at that first part of our number, 15. Our comma says this comma. We'll have other commas later on, but this comma, the first one always says 1,000. And then we read the rest of our number, 206. So let's put the same thing into practice for this number. 67, right? Because that's what this number is, 67,328. How simple is that? Now, some of you remember last week were thinking, this is too hard, Miss Monroe, there's no way. I couldn't figure out 90,000 plus 5,000 plus 100 plus 50 plus 2. That's too hard. But remember we said it really is easy, because when you are looking at 90,000 plus 5,000 plus 100 plus 50 plus 2, you're going to start with the first number that you have, 9. And you're going to know that it's in the tens place because it says 90. And when we count by tens, we say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, right? So it's in the 10,000s place, but there is a number that's in the 1,000s place also. And that number is 5. So 95,000. And because that 5 has the thousands little comma after it, I'm going to put my thousands comma. Then I'm going to add my next numbers, 100. Oh yeah, 1. But I'm not going to write 100 because I also have to find a spot for 50, which is next to my hundreds place. Remember our tens place. And then you're adding 2. Whoa. So when I write this big, when I see this big number, all I'm doing is breaking it down to now equal 10,000s place, 1,000s place, 100s, tens, and ones. 95,152. That's what this says. 90,000 plus 5,000 plus 100 plus 50 plus 2. 95,152. Now this is what we call, remember, the expanded form. The expanded form is something that we're going to see often throughout arithmetic. So get used to that. When it asks on your math page for expanded form, this is what it wants. It wants you to write all of those parts all the way out. So it's expanded and larger, and then you can make it smaller, or they might tell you to take the expanded to make it smaller, or take the smaller and expand it. So either way, you know what you're doing right now, okay? Now, we're gonna go a step further. When I get to 99,999, now what? We did 9,999, which went to 10,000, but what if it's 99,999? What comes after 99? 100. So guess what it's going to be? 100,000, smarties. Yes. So now we are going to the 100,000th place, which is 6 digits over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with the comma in between. Every 3 numbers gets the comma. Now, one thing I want you to recognize, there's something that is similar with these two. What is similar? Not that it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, what is similar? What's the same between this group and this group? Do you see anything that's similar? 1, 1. 10, 10, 100, 100. So it's always going ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds. And if you look there, it's doing the same thing, but don't look yet, because we'll get to that later. But that's how easy it is. We're always going to have groups of ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000s, 10,000s, 100,000s. It's just going to keep going that way, ones, tens, and hundreds. So 100,000 is now 3 digits on the right, to the left side of the comma, and 3 digits to the right side of the comma. So you're going to have 3 on both sides. So now let's try saying these numbers together. 635,000. So that we just take it like that. You can break it up. Put your hand over one side so you don't have to see that side to get yourself confused. Just look at the numbers on one side of the comma. 635, you already know how to read those numbers. And then you say 1,000, and then you read the other side. That's 200, Miss. Yes. So this is 635,200. Simple, right? What about this one? Cover over this side if it's too big for you and you can't, focus on all of it at the same time. Just take this little bit right here. What is this number? 499. And then comma says 1,000, right? And then you take this side, 310. 499,310. Easy. Now, last thing. You thought the other expanded form was a lot? Look at this one. 200,000 plus 90,000 plus 2,000 plus 700 plus 30 plus 4. I mean, it almost doesn't even fit in the camera. It's so long. But as same as we did this one, we can do this one. So we're at 200,000, so that means we have to start with our 2 in the farthest, and then comes our 9 next, and then 2,000, because it's 292,000, right? Plus 730, and 4. That's all. That's all it is. So we look at these, we think they're hard, but the expanded form is just taking this number and writing it with all of its parts. That way you'll see it easier. You will know 100,000th place has to have 6 digits in it. It's going to be a number with 5 zeros after it or 5 other numbers after it. Same thing, tens place or 10,000s place, it's 5 digits. Thousands place, 4 digits. Hundreds place, 3 digits. Tens place, 2 digits. And then just your ones place is just that 1 digit, okay? So those are just the simple things that I want you to understand. Then you're gonna go to page 13 in your books, and this is getting long, so I'm just gonna talk you through it and then let you off on your own, okay? So it says place value to the 100,000s. You can see the little bat-eared fox there. Eats over 999,999 termites each year. So they eat lots and lots of termites. But you are simply going to write each digit in the correct place. So now you've got 100,000s, 10,000s, 1,000s, hundreds, tens, and ones. And write those numbers in the proper places. If it doesn't go all the way to the 100,000s, don't put anything in the 100,000s, just leave it blank. If there are no tens or no hundreds or no thousands or whatever, again, not leave it blank, but put a 0 there because that's what the number is showing you. Hopefully that makes sense. So section 2, it says write the value of the circled digit. So remember, when you're writing the value of a number, you're looking at where that number is, okay? So we're looking at this number 7. What value is the 7? It's in the hundreds place. So how would I write that value? As 700, okay? If I'm writing the value of my 2, I'm writing it 2 with the numbers after it as zeros. Do we understand that? So whatever, when it's asking you to write the value of the digit, you look at that number that it's asking you to, whatever is circled, whatever that number is, whatever the numbers are that are after it, you make those as zeros. If it's here in the tens place, you're just going to put 1 0. If it's a hundreds place, you're going to put 2 zeros. If it was the 10,000s place, you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros after it. You understand that? If it's in the ones place, you don't put any zeros, you just put that number. Does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense. You're just writing the value of that digit, okay? So you look at, I'm just going to do letter B with you, not letter A. I want you to think about it. But when you look at the 9, what place is it? 100. So what are you going to write? 900. Yes, very good. Section 3, mark the circle under the correct number. So you have to read 200,099, figure out which one is correct. Same thing for letter B. Then you've got your story problem. Ethan had 29 toy cars. He gave 12 of them to his little brother. How many toy cars does he have left? When we're asking how many are left, what process do we use? Do we add those? No, because remember he gave some away, so that is subtraction. So subtract those two numbers to find your answer. Do it in the workspace and then write your answer in the blank. Then you're going to turn over to page 14, practice your subtraction like we did on the board, check the top. I know you might not be able to do the measuring, totally fine if you can't. Just put on there, no ruler, something like that. Then you've got clocks and rounding, and you're done with your page. So I'm gonna let you go because this is super long, and I hope that you do a great job on this. I know you got it. Have a great rest.